Today, I'm going to tell you exactly which meme coins have 20 to 50x potential for your portfolio this cycle. I'm talking about memes you can comfortably hold on a several month time frame and have a high probability of being the Doge ship of this cycle. One or two meme coins can possibly reach these levels, and we need to figure out which ones to make a lot of money. Let's face it, the market is trash right now, but that's exactly when you make all of your money, during the preparation phases of market. So do not click off this video. Make sure you watch it to the end. I'm not going to waste your time talking about bullshit. I'm going to get straight into the facts. Before we start, please remember that nothing here is financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. First up, we've got Pepe. It's clear to me that this can be one of the main memes of this cycle. It's a meme that people actually use across social media. A lot of the memes that we see in crypto are forced memes. The second reason is because of its relationship to Ethereum. Right now, Solana is consensus and ETH has fallen way behind. When this reverses and ETH pumps, the wealth effect and greed will flow into risky assets like Pepe. That's basic human nature, to increase risk as they get more confident and prices go up. So for me, it's clear that this is an S tier meme coin. The team already dumped their tokens in 2023. If you want my price target for Pepe, I'll tell you at the end when I tie this whole video in together. Wif has a lot of potential like Pepe, but I believe it's a lot more risky. The reason for that lies in the reason why Wif pumped in the first place. Firstly, it pumped due to the success of Sol and how it pumped early this bull market, and also because Bonk pulled a 50x. So the success of Wif is more intrinsically tied to Solana. It's also a lot more dependent on certain influencers like Ansem. If I were to break it down simply, I would say Pepe is better than Wif because Pepe is less reliant on individual people, and also because Solana is more consensus right now. When ETH gets his time to shine again, all ETH related memes will pump much harder than Solana ones. Nevertheless, I think Wif is not going anywhere as the main meme this cycle. I would just prefer to hold Pepe, but there's no reason you can't hold both. Next up, we've got Bonk, which was the main Solana meme coin from January of 2023. It did nothing for a whole year and then it gave a 50x. It got listed on Coinbase, which actually marked the top for a while, so that's an important bit of information to store in the back of your minds for your future coins that get big exchange listings. It's a respectable meme coin. It's got a Coinbase listing, which Wif doesn't have. And it's also been uptrending against Wif for the past 4 months. The way that Bonk is managing to outperform Wif whilst having a lot less attention is definitely impressive. To me, they both serve as Solana bear plays, and I would also put Bonk as an A-tier meme. With Brett, there's a few concerns you always need to keep in mind. Firstly, it's a derivative of Pepe, which in my mind imposes a ceiling on Brett permanently, which is the Pepe market cap. Now, we could discuss the base narrative of millions of people coming in and just buying Brett, helping it to flip Pepe. I just think that's very unlikely. And that is basically the main reason why I prefer Pepe over Brett, because of this ratio over here. It's not like Brett is 1/20th of Pepe's market cap and there's a ton of upside potential. It's already around a quarter now, which is very high. So that means comparing Brett over Pepe, the upside is very limited in my opinion. So then it begs the question, why not just hold Pepe, which has been distributing for a lot longer and is actually the leader of the narrative where the team has already dumped their tokens last year. Now, I know there's controversy regarding Brett and insiders holding a lot of the supply. To me, that was always obvious, but you need the team or insiders to control a large percentage of the supply and to never sell to get those large pumps and rallies. Sometimes how big a coin gets entirely depends on how much the people behind it can dream. Nevertheless, I'd rather hold Pepe than Brett in my portfolio, mainly because of how much this relationship has already been priced in. I'm not saying Brett can't go 10x or more. What I'm saying is, if Brett does do a 10x, Pepe will have done an 8 to 10x as well, in which case it's better to just hold Pepe because it's far less risky. So in that case, I'd put Brett in B tier. Next up, we've got Boom, which is what started the pre-sale season in March. And that season is actually what made me quite scared of the market, and I took a percentage of my holdings into cash purely because of what this coin started. For memes, you need a cult community and you need mass appeal. I don't think Boom has either of those. It's the same market cap as Mog, yet the difference in the two communities is immense. I would not buy Boom or include it in my portfolio at $500 million. It's just too expensive. So that's why for me it goes in C tier. But the thing is, this can surprise us. Most memes, once they get listed on Binance, do eventually get a big run. So at certain valuations, if this keeps dipping at like $200 million, this could be worth it. But in general, this should be a lesson for the future to avoid things that blow up too much, too fast. Because you have to ask yourself then, who's coming in to buy after me? It went from 50 million to 2 billion in 2 days with $1 billion in trading volume in a single day. And that is how I knew, and I said it back in this video in March, that Sol has likely topped over here. Next up, we've got Mog, which probably has the strongest cult community in crypto and the narrative of being an ETH beta play. I believe it's one of the few memes that can actually stay relevant during the next leg of the bull market because of its community. My concerns with Mog lie in the fact that it's had a monster run up. Makes it really hard to justify buying right now without a significant shakeout. The other concern I have is Mog is more of an edgy Gen Z type of humor. In terms of attracting retail normies, I think Wif and things like that have a much higher chance. For a meme to go really high in market cap, as in $10 billion plus, it needs mass appeal. Something your normie co-workers can look at and decide, yeah, I want to buy this. Is a 40-year-old soccer mom going to look at Mog and think, yeah, I like this? Probably not. Nevertheless, I think it still has potential to do well. It's one of the few memes I'd be interested in buying, but only at a much lower market cap. So that's why I'd put it in lower A tier behind Wif. Next up, we've got Popcat. I would not include this in my portfolio, but something important we can learn from Popcat is memes that survive multiple minus 90% drawdowns and then go on to break their previous all-time high usually seem to explode really big. So that's a potential pattern we'll need to keep an eye out for once this boring phase of the market is done. Anyways, Popcat for me is a C tier meme play. The only narrative I can think of that's unique to this is the cats vs dog narrative, which isn't even that good of a narrative to begin with. For me, I hate coins that pump like crazy out of nowhere and reach insane valuations, because from that point, it really is an uphill battle. When you have coins like Mog or Popcat that have multiple minus 90% drawdowns, that means a lot of the supply has been churned from weak hands to stronger hands, which makes it easier to go up. The holders of this coin have not been tested seriously even once, and in general, new coins are good, but when they're too new and too big, for me that's a red flag. The only saving grace that this has is it got listed on Bithumb. It's hard to get on exchanges like this. So far, only a handful of memes have managed to get on here, and if they get listed on Bithumb, it's more likely that they can get listed on Upbit. I think there's going to be significant alpha whenever the next meme gets listed on Upbit. So far, no new meme has been listed on all 5 of the biggest exchanges. The first one that gets all of them can likely challenge for the valuations like SHIB. Anyways, for Mew, I'm not buying this. For me, it goes in a void. For Dog Go to Moon on Rune, I'm going to put it like this. For Bitcoin ecosystem related things, the Bitcoin ETF was the ultimate catalyst for this sort of stuff. When Bitcoin went from 40k to 70k, you would have thought that Bitcoin ecosystem stuff would have really done well, but it didn't. So that just shows you how powerful a narrative and giving people something to look forward to is. People will say to me, if Bitcoin goes to 100k, this is going to outperform Bitcoin because it's associated with that narrative. But here's the thing, at $270 million in market cap, to give good gains, it needs to appeal to more people. The narrative of being a Bitcoin beta is something that mass retail just doesn't care about. That's like a trader's narrative. Overall, I'm not interested in this, and for me, it goes in C tier. What I really think will give the most gains this cycle is meme coins with smaller market caps, but with real cult communities that have survived multiple minus 9% drawdowns. So my next video will be focusing on these lower market cap meme coins, so subscribe now if you want to see the low market cap meme coin tier list video. Next up, we've got Gigachad. This one's really easy to cover. If you're buying this now, you're extremely late, and it's probably already reached its ceiling for what's possible. It's up 60% in a single week. It's got no decent exchange listings. Take a look at this chart created by Victor. These meme coins have limits as to what they can reach. Look at how many meme coins reached the $300 million market cap range and then completely fell off. For me, this goes in a void now. Next up, we've got Turbo. Turbo is one of the only meme coins down at these sorts of valuations that has a Binance perp listing, which is really impressive. Now, I called the top for Turbo in the Discord. I said the round number resistance would be really hard to get past. And I also gave my reasonings in the weekly premium reports for why I thought Turbo had topped. And I was quite bearish on Turbo for quite some time, but not so much anymore, as it's given a nice correction. The only thing I will say for Turbo is it's probably going to need a little longer to consolidate and prepare for its next leg. The reason for that being, look at how much it pumped in such a short period of time. In terms of memes that have staying power and won't fade into irrelevancy, this is one of them because of the dual narrative of AI and meme coin that it has. When you take into account its Binance perp listing and also the insane community that it has, this has great potential in my opinion, but it's going to take longer to shake some people out. I would put it in A tier and wait for longer for an entry. In terms of the current ranking of meme coins, there's no doubt in my mind that this is better than Dog, Mew, Popcat, Bithumb, etc. For Trump, there is not a single meme coin on this list that has a better narrative coming up in the short to mid-term. The entire world is going to be focusing on the election soon, and attention equals price goes up. Now, just based on these things, with price being down almost minus 90%, and the election being the most prominent narrative that we're going to have, this should instantly go into S tier, possibly even above Pepe. The problem is it's a really risky play. Because of the nature of what it's tied to, imagine something happens to Trump, or they make big mistakes in their campaign, or other memes get launched by a cabal and it affects the liquidity of this one. There's so many different things to consider. So whilst it has the highest short-term potential of any coin in this list, it's also one of the riskiest. So that's why I've limited the percentage of my portfolio in this. And if it was not for this high risk, this would be an S tier. But because of how risky it is, I'm going to be dropping it down by 1. Next up, we've got Corgi AI, which is complete trash compared to Turbo. The team barely posts and the volume is very low, so just avoid this one. Next up, we've got Pepe coin. I covered this in my AI video and said wait for lower to accumulate. Pepe coin also shows the point I was making with Brett. Take a look at Pepe coin over the Pepe chart and you'll see it's pulled back significantly. And it actually has room to go up, as it's only 1/15th of Pepe's market cap. I believe it's now entering a slow accumulation zone, especially when you compare it to the Pepe chart. If this goes into pure depression phase, I would probably pick some up. It definitely needs better exchange listings though, otherwise it's going to be left behind as Pepe pumps. If you compare this one's exchange listings to Turbo, you'll see how their valuations not far apart, but Turbo has far better exchange listings. I would put this as high B tier based on my gut feeling right now. Next up, we've got MPC, which has a cartel of ex-shillers behind it. Personally, there's no way I'm buying anything those guys touch, because they're going to be up insane amounts from their KOL allocations and they're going to be dumping hard. The moment I see those sorts of people in any project, I'm immediately put off. Maybe you can go and do something, but in general, a profitable trading strategy does not consist of buying influencers bags that are up 100x. Next up, we've got Ponky, which has a stronger community and more interest in it than a lot of the coins above it in the CoinGecko meme coin rankings. It's also got better exchange listings than a lot of the tokens down here. And you'll see it's got the same pattern that Popcat had, with multiple minus 89% shakeouts before going on a mega run. Again, this is a pattern to look for in the smaller market cap meme coins, which I'll make a video on soon. Overall, Ponky goes into B tier for me. I think it's a good meme coin. Finally, we've got Nero on ETH. We've got a tough situation with this one because the narrative for this and being related to Doge is such a good one. But then you need to take a look at how big it's gone so quickly. What if this does similar to what Bithumb did and just bleeds and chops for ages? I bet you some Nero shillers are going to tell you that Doge got to $80 billion, so this can easily get to 15 billion, which will give you a full 100x. Whilst it sounds good on paper, the reality is it's going to be much more difficult than that, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But in terms of narratives across the broader cycle, there's not that many that have one as good as Nero. And I'm going to surprise you with this one. I actually think this one does have a lot of potential. Right now, I'll put it in B tier because it's not a suitable entry right now. But yes, this is definitely one to keep on the watch list. The only concern I have is who is the team behind this and how far will they be willing to walk up the market cap and how skilled are they in terms of marketing the token. Finally, I'm going to finish off this video with a mega warning and actually one of the most important segments I've done in any of my videos so far. There's a reason I left these three towards the end. You already know that these are old and the new ones have more potential. But the question we need to ask is, what's the likelihood any of these new generation meme coins can reach the heights of Doge's shape last cycle? To do that, let's take a look at what actually led to Doge's incredible $85 billion pump in 2021. Firstly, we had Elon Musk, the most famous man on the planet, shilling it relentlessly. We had people dumping their stimulus checks into Doge. We had people bored at home because of lockdowns with nothing better to do than gamble on meme coins. Crypto was very new to a lot of people, so we had a lot of fresh participants who were full of optimism, who hadn't had the experience of being burned yet and losing a lot of money. We also had far fewer coins of the market. Remember, meme coins were the birth of a new narrative in 2021, whereas in this cycle, they're a second cycle narrative. When you take into account all of these incredible things, and also take into account that this cycle there's way more meme coins, and point number 6 over here, which is especially important. Last cycle, no one believed Doge's shape could go that high, and that's partly what made them go so high, because people faded it, and they had to FOMO in, which made the price go even higher. This cycle, it's not like that. There's no denying that people are much more accepting and expecting much more of memes. So yes, there is a very real chance that no meme coin ever reaches this $85 billion high again. I think there's a chance that the biggest new meme from this cycle could top at, say, $30 billion. That's the mental model I'm working with. Again, it's all probabilities. We don't know for sure what's going to happen. And also, this is just me being real. Other people will tell you, yes, you can buy Pepe now and get a 25x. I'm not going to do that. I'll be adding more meme coins to my portfolio, especially in the low market cap range. I recently shared a meme in premium and it's done a 2x so far. It has the potential to do another 5 to 10x, giving a total of 10 to 20x gains. Over the next couple of months, I'll be building up a refreshed killer portfolio for the next leg of the bull market. If you want to see what goes into my portfolio when I buy or sell things, check out my premium service. I think you should use a service like this at critical times when there's clear opportunities for accumulation and rebuilding in the market, and also when there's a clear need for taking profit in the cycle. These are the times where you need to be taking in as much quality information as possible. So if you want to join before I increase the prices significantly, check out the link in the pinned comments. Try it out for a month. If it's not for you, you can cancel, no problems. Thanks for watching.